Yo, before we get into this DVD slash Blu-ray update here, I want to give a big shout out to my man, Eastwood4life Fan, aka Carlos. I'll leave a link down below so you guys can run over and, hit that subscribe button. Super awesome guy, man. This guy is like super knowledgeable about, Westerns and things like that. So if you guys are into Westerns and spaghetti Westerns and Euro type anything, give this guy a shot, man. He just hit over 500 subs. I know he's going to be doing a 500 sub contest for, his subscribers and things like that. So, but yeah, big shout out to Carlos, and keep up the great content. I love his videos, man. He's got that really soothing voice. I love watching his videos late at night. He's awesome. But yeah, run over there, give him a sub here, support this guy. He should have way more subs because it's just the way YouTube is now these days, man. So anyways, I'll leave the link down below, like I said. And yeah, let's get into this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and I am back with my February DVD slash Blu-ray haul for y'all. Again, like I said last month, I'm going to start doing these monthly instead of bi-monthly because those updates just go way too long. And when I do the monthly, I can get through them a little bit quicker. It's not as much things to show because I always feel like I'm not buying that much, but then when it comes time to do these updates, I realized that I actually still managed to purchase over 30 things. So I can't help myself sometimes. It's bizarre. Yeah, man, I actually just got up. I just took my kid to school. So, I mean, if I appear that I'm a little bit tired, that is why. So without further ado, let's get right into the couple DVDs that I picked up, and then the rest are just Blu-rays. So, all right, let's get right into this. From SRS Studios, we picked up Channel 13. This is actually one, I believe that they had released on Blu-ray in a limited form because SRS releases these movies. God only knows why they release these shot-on-video films on Blu-ray. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, so here's the DVD. I don't care about having these on Blu-ray. I'm not paying $30, $40 for a shot-on-video Blu-ray. But yeah, this is a Polonia Brothers film that was shot in 1987 that was actually never finished. And I believe that Mark actually ended up finishing this one last year or something like that. They put some new effects to it and things like that. So it actually came out. Rest in peace to John Polonia, who passed away years ago. But yeah, no, I haven't seen this one. I heard it's very typical kind of early Polonia Brothers type stuff. So a mixed bag of shorts. It's an anthology type film. So sorry about the glare here, but I love the cover art on this. Channel 13. Pretty cool. Yeah, definitely not everyone's basket of fun, but you know me, if you guys follow this channel, I love shot on video madness, so looking forward to checking out Channel 13. I picked up a couple more of these films from the Wild Ironic streamline because I just can't help myself when things are numbered, but they re-released Whole. Wild Eye had actually released this movie before, but then they put it onto the Ironic streamline, which they've only done a couple times. I think there's like 25, 26 releases. I think there's a couple more coming out this month, but I've actually seen Whole before. It's okay. It's not a bad film. I can't quite remember. I know it's more like a captive type film where this dude on the back captures this lady and does some crazy shit to her. It's been a while. I think I actually even reviewed this at one time. It was on here, Body Bags. I don't know, but yeah, here's Whole. Here's Whole, number 25 in the line. I was really excited about this. This is really cool, man, that they released Zombie Rampage 2, a film that Todd Sheets did, I believe, in 1990. Yeah, 1990, getting released in 2019. I think this actually had a release before, maybe not. I'm not sure. But Zombie Rampage 2, awesome fun, man. I love Todd Sheets. I'm a huge Todd Sheets fan. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one. I've actually never seen this movie before, so this is pretty damn cool. The second installment in the zombie filmography that was thought for... Okay, so this movie was actually apparently thought to be lost, so that's probably why I've never seen this movie, and maybe it didn't obviously have a release because it was lost. But yeah, Zombie Rampage 2. Very stoked to have that in the collection. And that was number 24. And here's one that came out a little while ago. Number 19, I finally picked it up because the price actually finally dropped on this. For whatever reason, this was going for way too much money, and I'm not paying a lot for these wild, ironic, extreme titles. This is number 19. This one's called Fang Boner. Now, when I first heard the title to this, I was like, you know what? I mean, I can pretty much see where this is going. And then I read the synopsis, and I actually laughed at this, so I got to read this. Meet Dick and Susie. Dick becomes infected with an unknown virus, and in turn, infects Susie. They soon discover that they have a newfound taste for blood. The only problem is that the new mutation is that they only seem to be able to suck blood out of their victims' genitals. Meanwhile, something from another world has taken notice and is out to annihilate them off the planet. Yes, they have to suck blood out of their victims' genitals. This movie is basically, it's like zombie fucking head horror. I don't know, man. It's bizarre. Very, very bizarre. So I can't wait to check this one out. I was actually going to watch this a few nights ago, but I got busy, man. I got busy this week. The wife's in New York, so it's just me and the kid, and that's why this update's a little bit late into the month, so today being the 9th, but it is what it is. But yeah, here's Fang Boner. I can't wait to check that out. It's just ridiculous. So, but yeah, so that's it for the DVDs. Again, you know, I'm just not really buying a whole lot of DVDs, so on to the Blu-rays. First up here, man, my buddy Matt from You and Your Horror Movies actually sent this over to me. He apparently had a second copy. I'm not entirely sure how he got a second copy. He just messaged me and he's like, yo, brother, you want this thing? And I'm like, hell yeah, man. It's actually a film I didn't even watch last year. I know a lot of people were actually talking about this one. It was a Shudder exclusive, which is kind of cool that Shudder's actually putting these movies on physical media, because that's kind of cool. Because Netflix does with some of the things like Stranger Things, and some of their titles get physical releases, but Mon Monsters. This is a holy shit, dude. What is it? Japan? No, it's Chinese or Korean. I don't even know, actually. I just realized I actually don't know. I'm thinking it's Chinese, but anyways, it doesn't matter. Zomcom type deal. So looking forward to checking that out. So thanks, Matt, for throwing that one my way. And he also threw in this little Frankenstein mini. It's awesome. So that was a nice little added bonus. Yeah, little Frankenstein mini. Awesome, man. I love that shit. So thank you, Matt, for the awesome gifts. All right, moving along to more Blu-rays here. Picked up a standalone copy of When a Stranger Calls. Had to get it on this. I don't really collect these Mill Creek Entertainment, kind of retro VHS slipcovers and stuff like that. I don't care, but I had this on. I think the original double feature, whatever. I'm not like the hugest fan of this movie. Like I think the opening 25 minutes is like amazing. It's so iconic. It's so well done. It's so amazing and scary. It's like a perfect short, absolute perfect short. I think the way the rest of the narrative plays itself out, I think it drags itself, and it's just not as good as those first like 25 minutes or whatever. So, lo and behold, we reviewed these on the podcast way back in the day and stuff. You guys can check out my thoughts there if you want to do so. Not a bad movie, but whatever. I'm sure this is probably the same transfer as the double feature one, since it is Mill Creek, and it does have the original artwork, which I've never liked that artwork. I don't know. I don't know. When a Stranger Calls. I finally got around to picking up the Leprechaun complete collection, so I got rid of all my DVDs, because this actually dropped in price. I think I picked it up for like $15, so I was happy to get rid of all my DVDs, because I'm just trying to clear out as much as I can in my room, because when you have like 10,000 movies, man, you're always having to shift things around, and like literally 10,000 movies. So it's been nice to finally get rid of a lot of the older DVDs and shit, because some of the stuff I'd keep for artworks and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm getting rid of a lot of the shit and downsizing. And it's a perfect pack. I mean, at least it actually does have pictures of the artwork on the back, all the original artworks and shit, which is actually that Leprechaun original film, that is not the original artwork, I don't believe. I don't think Jennifer Aniston was on the original artwork. So, but lo and behold, I've heard the transfers are pretty decent for this. So, yeah, Leprechaun films. I do have the latest one on its separate Blu-ray. So, into a couple films that are not horror, but Takashi Miike's First Love, kind of an Yakuza crime type film. Funny, it's got comedy and shit. It's not as bizarre as a lot of Takashi Miike films get. Takashi Miike just, you never really know what to expect with his films. They can be like kind of serious, funny or whatever, and then they just go crazy bizarre out into left field and shit. There was one part in this film I absolutely, like, it was just bizarre. I was watching this movie thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, nothing really crazy has happened in this movie. Not 2 seconds later, something out of the fucking blue happens. And I was just like, oh, there you go. There's Takashi Miike for you. But I had fun with this, man. It has a great third act to it. But pretty fun ride. You know, Takashi Miike honestly doesn't really disappoint a lot, man. For as much material as this guy puts out, he puts out a lot of damn quality shit, and he doesn't really cop out on his films either. You know, it's not like he does, you know, he'll put out 2-3 movies a year kind of thing, and they're all like 2 hours plus. Like he does a good job with his films and shit. So, but yeah, fun. There's some really, really funny parts in this, actually. Had me rolling. Then we picked up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. I believe this is the live action version of the anime TV series, I want to say. I don't really know much about this, to be honest, but it is Takashi Miike, so I'm going to check it out. Somebody actually Patreon this, but I was going to pick it up anyways because it is Takashi Miike. I collect his films. Just have way, way too many Takashi Miike films. Actually, you can't even say that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was looking at my collection the other day, and I must have like between 40 and 50 Takashi Miike films, probably close to 50, and it's like not even half of his movies. It's crazy, the output that this guy's immense in his career. But I've heard, actually, I haven't really heard much about this at all. So let me know if you guys have seen this, and if you're a fan of the anime series. I'm assuming it's a TV series, or maybe it's just I don't know. Just let me know. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm assuming this is going to be weird. So yeah, all right. Spaghetti Western, directed by Sergio Garone. This is probably actually one of his better films he's ever directed, but Hanging for Django. Just, it's not even a Django film. Actually, the name is quite bizarre. I can't remember what the original title is to this right now. It's totally slipping my mind. But yeah, of course they're just going to piggyback on the Django name because this came out in, I believe, 1969, so a couple years after the original Django film. Piggybacking on that with the hundreds and hundreds of fucking clone Django films, or just in name only. This one right here is starring Anthony Stephan and William Berger. They play like these opposing kind of bounty hunters where they're hunting down this dude that's like trafficking Mexicans and things like that, and these guys have like different agendas and shit. It's actually really fucking fun, man. Definitely one of Garone's better films. It's definitely better than his Nazi exploitation films and shit. But he does actually have a couple other pretty decent films, and I'm thinking I might even pick this guy for Italian Horror Month on the podcast next year, so stay tuned for that. But Hanging for Django, finally got around to picking this up. I don't know why. This is like one of the very few rare Blu-rays I was actually missing that's in the spaghetti western crime kind of horror realm. There's a few like sex ones and shit I don't really pick up, but I kind of like that alternate artwork that they use there. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, man. Good music in it too. Yeah, and actually, man, the transfer was really good on that. I was surprised. Had to do it. Had to pick up Private School. To my amazement, I actually didn't know that Shout Factory put this out. I completely missed this, man, because this was a film that I used to really like and watch a lot growing up because Phoebe Cates is in it, and who doesn't love Phoebe Cates, man? If you grew up in the 80s or the early 90s, whatever, you're probably familiar with, Fast Times and Gremlins and things like that, like Phoebe Cates. And but this one right here was an earlier one, 1983, also starring Betsy Russell, who went on to play, she was in like a bunch of the Saw films. She was Jigsaw's ex-wife or wife. Looks completely different in this. Man, she's so sexy. Oh, man, crazy. But, it's still a fun film, man. It's not as good as I remember. I hadn't seen this movie in like probably 20 years, but still cool to have. I'm a big fan of these kind of high school, college type sex comedies and shit. Sex comedies in general, I always have fun with. So, but yeah, Private School. On to Vinegar Syndromes I picked up. Extro 3. Oh my god, man. The Extro franchise or series trilogy, if you want to call it that, is very, very bizarre because the movies have nothing in common. There's no continuity whatsoever in the extra films. They're just sequels in name only. They're all directed by the same guy who just basically did the first one. He's like, well, I got this idea for this other movie. Let's do a part 2 and then so on, part 3. This one right here is a little bit bizarre. It came out in the mid-90s, 1995, I believe. So mid-90s, it does actually have that kind of mid-90s vibe to it. Maybe a little bit earlier too, maybe like late 80s, early 90s kind of vibe, but the effects are like so 90s. Basically about this group of military personnel that have a mission to go to this deserted island that has been vacant since like World War II to go and investigate and clear up these bombs and things like that. But there's an ulterior motive with the military personnel and things like that, or the government. And then, of course, you know, there's aliens and there's lots of cheesiness and shit that goes on. It's a bad movie, but honestly, it was kind of entertaining. I don't think I'd ever seen this. I even have this on DVD. I don't think I ever watched the DVD. Crazy. If I did, I didn't remember this at all. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I won't lie. Man, the alien just really does look like that. It just it's so fucking funny looking. It's just hilarious, but I don't know. It's in all its cheesiness. If you can watch this shit in a good mood, it's actually kind of a fun time. But yeah, it's not great. Just take my word for it. But the transfer is ridiculous, man. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome just knocks these shits out of the park, man. They polish turds like crazy. Hollywood Whorehouse. I remember hearing about this movie years and years ago. I actually have this on DVD too. And actually, the DVD transfer of this is horrible. It's terrible. I believe Full Moon put this out on DVD, I think, and the transfer is like a VHS transfer. It's terrible. But I remember years and years ago hearing about this title, and I just instantly thought it was about like horror houses, like sluts. I don't know why, because it said Hollywood Whorehouse, and I remember hearing the title, right, and then seeing the title. I'm like, oh, it's Horror House, not horror. It's horror. This is a really, really bizarre film, man. It's actually got some pretty entertaining performances. Basically about this dude that takes his job as like this helper in this rich lady's house. She used to be a big star in Hollywood back in the 30s and stuff. Has been retired forever. And of course, this movie takes place in the early 70s, 1973. So she's been retired for a long time. She's very eccentric. She's kind of sick and stuff. And he's got some motives and shit like that. But it's really, really bizarre. There's lots of kind of strange dialogue in this and just strange things that are happening throughout the movie. It's oddly entertaining, but very kind of bad and bland at the same time. I don't know. It's one of those movies you kind of got to check out for yourself. It's not really going to be a hit with a lot of people, but it's an alright film. But yeah, here's the which I just showed you guys, the Savage Intruder alternate title for the film. Yeah, it has its moments, but yeah, the lead guy in this film, man, is it David Garfield? Is that who it is? Fuck. He's kind of hilarious in it. He's just straight up hilarious to me. Flesh Eating Mothers. Oh my god, man, this movie. Man, this is just another upgrade for me. I do have would this come out on Elite? Elite put this out. And I hadn't watched it in years, man, and it's still as bad and funny as I remember it to be, man. Like, oh, this is one of those so bad it's super entertaining type films. But man, I honestly, the transfer on this is just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, I gotta say. Not really a lot of... Actually, there's a commentary track on here, which is crazy, which I would actually like to watch. This film that says it came out in 88. It might have been 87, I'm not sure. Maybe it was 88, but... yeah, Cannibalistic Mothers. That's pretty much what you're getting. It's cheesy as fuck. It really, really is cheesy and bad, but it's fun. It's honestly fun. It doesn't surprise me Vinegar Syndrome would drop something like that, but... Zombie Island Massacre. So happy to finally have a copy of this. I don't know if this actually had a DVD release before. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But I actually have a lot of fun with this one. I love island type settings and shit like that, and that's pretty much what you get with here. You know, and that artwork's pretty cool too, man. Yeah, group of people on their vacations and shit like that soon get basically attacked by zombies and shit like that. Yeah. I mean, to a point. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, yeah. No, the killer's like this voodoo man. Yeah. Okay. Fuck. I'm just having like total brain farts right now. Yeah. This movie, it's actually pretty damn fun. I won't lie. It's bad, but yeah. I don't know what the fuck is the. I mean, the zombie. I get where they're coming with the whole voodoo zombie type shit like that and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, it's fun, man. It's fun. I watched this like right when I got it like a month ago, and I was like totally blanking on it. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun. From Artsploitation Films, we got We. It's a film from the Netherlands, so a Dutch. It's not a horror film, as far as I know. Anyways, it says it's like in the vein of like Larry Clark films and shit like that. So I'm kind of. Oh yeah, so here we go. This controversial and explicit coming of age tale is imbued with sex, nihilism, immorality. Why can't I say that word? And is reminiscent of films of Carone, Larry Clark, and Lars Venture. So that's a very interesting line of directors right there, because as you know, if you're familiar with those directors, you know exactly what you're kind of getting yourself into with this one. I hope it's more lines of like a Larry Clark type shit, man, because like I'm fucking love Kids, man. It's like one of the greatest. So I'm gonna end up doing a review on this one, so look out for that. Blue Underground's House by the Cemetery, just another copy for me. I have so many copies of House by the Cemetery, but I mean, obviously I'm not gonna pass on this ridiculousness because, Fulci's my favorite director of all time, and the Lenticular is actually working on here. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, these 3-disc editions that Blue Underground are just burning our pockets with, man. They've re-released the same movie so many damn times, and recently they just announced that they're going to be releasing Maniac and Zombie on 4K, which they had just dropped the 3-disc crazy editions of those, so it's just going to never fucking end with this shit. But I love these editions because, I'm not a big fan of slipcover. I could care less about slipcovers, but these are really cool, man, with the lenticulars and shit. Of course, the original artwork, but the soundtrack, it's nice to have the soundtracks and shit. And this transfer is crazy, man. Crazy. So I would expect this to be coming to 4K, considering these are all 4K transfers. So I did watch some of the new features on here. I did watch the Calling Dr. Freudstein, the interview with Stephen Thrower, who I absolutely love, who wrote the book Beyond Terror, the film's Lucio Fulci, which of course I have. That's a phenomenal book. If you're a fan of Fulci, definitely check out the book. It's like amazing. Nightmare USA and things like that he did. Very, very informative. I know he did something with Jess Franco. He's a huge Jess Franco fan. But yeah, House by the Cemetery, amazing. Great release. Can't really go wrong with that. Into some Kino classics, which these are all Western spaghetti American. Captain Apache with Lee Van Cleef. Lee Van Cleef playing a Native American U.S. Army officer in this movie. It's ridiculous. I think he's got like this ridiculous fucking hairpiece on, and so much makeup. Like, it makes him look super. I mean, Lee Van Cleef usually is pretty tan in his films. This one, he looks exceptionally dark because they tried to really kind of darken up his skin or make it a little bit more red dark, I guess, to capture the whole Native American thing. But actually, it's pretty entertaining. Lee Van Cleef being one of my favorites, Western stars of all time. I love Lee Van Cleef, man. And this one I'd actually never seen before. Kind of entertaining. It's got a ridiculous storyline, like absolutely ridiculous, with like there's this whole conspiracy to kill the president, and there's all this craziness happening and stuff. But lo and behold, pretty fun. Actually had a blast with Captain Apache. Transfer's awesome too. A Man Alone with Ray Milland. Actually, it has Lee Van Cleef in a smaller role. This is from 1955. I think Captain Apache came out in 1971, yeah. This is an earlier Cleef film from 1955 with Mary Murphy, Ward Bond, Raymond Burr, Ray Milland. Great cast in this one. Ray Milland basically plays this dude that comes across this huge massacre that happened. These robbers shot and killed everybody on the stagecoach and shit. He comes across it and he reports it to this town where, of course, the people of the town assume that was him that did this. But, of course, the same people that are accusing him of these murders are the ones that actually did it. So he ends up shooting the sheriff because the sheriff kind of goes after him and stuff, and ends up actually kind of taking care of the sheriff while he's, laid up in bed and things like that. It's kind of an interesting story. It's a little bit slower, kind of different. It's not like your typical kind of shoot 'em up type Western and shit like that. It's a little bit more character driven and stuff, but a little bit of a love story that goes on with Mary Murphy. But overall, pretty entertaining stuff though, man. Transfer's ridiculous on this, really ridiculous. Burt Lancaster and the Kentuckian. This was actually pretty entertaining, man. Burt Lancaster actually directed this movie in 1955. It's more of like a family type Western, basically about Burt Lancaster's character and his son. They're making their way down to Texas to start a new life and things like that, and they end up in this small little town where his brother lives, and things kind of go down from there and stuff. It's more of like it's very like wholesome. It feels like a kind of like a Lonesome Dove type thing. But pretty well done. Burt Lancaster, I think, did a pretty good job with this one. I think it honestly runs. It runs 104 minutes, but it does feel a little bit long at times. But it is a very beautiful film, great performances and stuff. But and it's got I believe, Walter Matthau. I think this is his first screen role in this film. It's just funny to see Walter Matthau be like so young, but he wasn't young though. Like he was actually quite old in 1955, for your first screen role. It's kind of crazy, but he does a great job in this. He plays such a fucking dick in this movie, man. And there's a pretty awesome fight scene between Burt Lancaster and him. So pretty cool stuff where, yeah, he just gets whipped to shit, man. It's crazy. Another Lee Van Cleef film called Bad Man's River. Wow, man. The word bad definitely describes this movie. This is the worst Lee Van Cleef Western I've ever seen, man. It's more of a comedy. But the thing is with this movie, the comedy does not really work at all. In fact, it's quite corny and like cringeworthy at times. Oh man, dude. Directed by Gene Martin, who I'm trying to remember what his Italian name is. Eugenio Martin, that's who did. He did Horror Express and stuff. He's actually done quite a bit of different types of films, westerns, a whole pile of different type of Italian type shit. Yeah, man, this this one is just a mess through the whole thing. I'm like, at first I didn't even know this was actually a comedy western, spaghetti western, and I was like, holy shit, dude. Some of the shit was just cringe-worthy, man. I was like, what the fuck? And Lee Van Cleef, he just feels uncomfortable in it, too. Like, some of the dialogue is just like, oh, man, you gotta, if you want to see some bad Lee Van Cleef, check this out, man. But, oof, that one is rough. That was rough, man. I mean, for the millions of westerns and spaghetti westerns I've watched in my life, that was very disappointing because, like I said, Lee Van Cleef is, like, pretty much my favorite up there with Eastwood in the western worlds, man. But, oh man, that was cringe. From Synapse, they released Hot Dog, the absolutely amazing ski extravaganza. I guess ski battle type sex comedy type thing from 1984 with a young Shannon Tweed in it. David Naughton's in this movie, of course. It's awesome. It's a ski bum movie about this dude that's making his way to this ski championship. He wants to get a place on the ski team, and of course, there's a whole pile of drinking, skiing, and a whole pile of craziness that goes on in this. Super fun, man. Shannon Tweed's awesome in this. Her tits are beautiful. But yeah, the unrated producer's cut of this, which is a little bit longer, I believe, than the DVD that had come out. I don't think that was uncut, but it's awesome that this actually got re-released because I've been waiting for this to come out forever. I love this movie. It's so much fun. It's just a damn blast. I'm not even a skier, but I love this shit, man. It's great. Awesome soundtrack. Lots of hot chicks. Just super fun. If you're into sex comedies and shit, definitely give this one a shot. The transfer by Synapse, like they always do, is simply amazing. So, yeah. Gotta love it. Moving on to Scream Factory's next here, because it's just the way I have it lined up. Pet Sematary 2, which, you know what? I don't even know why I upgraded this, because, again, I watched this and I really just found out I'm just not a big fan of this movie, man. I used to be when I was younger. I thought this was pretty cool. I don't know what it is about this movie. It's kind of slow moving. It just does not really do it. I just don't really like the storyline in this, man, with, the stepdad And I don't. There's just so many things about this movie I just can't get past. It's just I don't know, man. I do like the fact that Edward Furlong's in it. I think he's okay in the movie and stuff. But even the opening scene with his mom dying and shit, and eventually, he brings her back, and then we got the whole stepfather thing and shit. And there's some funny parts in this, but overall, man, I'm just not a fan. But like I said, I used to be a big fan of this movie. We reviewed them on the podcast a few years back, and then realized I was not a big fan. Decided to upgrade and really kind of, established I'm not a big fan of this. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. I know a lot of people actually prefer that to the original, which is crazy to me, but it is what it is. Rasputin the Mad Monk, finally on Blu-ray. I think this might actually have a UK Blu-ray. I'm not 100% sure. If it did, I'd never picked it up. But some more Hammer goodness from Scream Factory. This is a great movie. I haven't watched this Blu-ray yet, so... But, I need to check it out. But, yeah, it's a great film. Christopher Lee plays this monk, this Russian monk and shit like that, and it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. X the Unknown, some more Hammer sci-fi horror goodness here about radioactive killer mud from, 1957? This is a fantastic film, man. I think the effects in this are great. The atmosphere is awesome. I just love the whole premise of this, radioactive killer mud. I mean, really. I mean, how many radioactive killer mud movies are out there? But X the Unknown. How many movies in the 50s, sci-fi horror, sci-fi type films had X in the title? So many. Very, very 50s, very Hammer to do something like this. But this is a great film, man. Transfer is phenomenal. Absolutely knocked it out the park on this one. Which apparently they didn't even do the new transfer on it because it doesn't say they did. So whoever did it, it's good. The Resurrected from, I believe, 1991. This is kind of like a side grade to me because I actually have the German Blu-ray, but I wanted to grab... Actually, I grabbed this Scream Factory one because this actually is a new transfer. The German Blu-ray is a little bit... It almost seems like an upscale a little bit, and it probably is. So, new 2K scan of the Interpositive. So, I'm looking forward to that. One of my favorite H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, man. I love this movie, man. It's just fantastic. Chris Sarandon plays in this. He's absolutely phenomenal in this, man. I'm not going to get into the whole plot of this, but it's great. If you guys are fans of H.P. Lovecraft, you know the story, you know what I'm talking about. But honestly, this is actually one of my favorites, 90s movies. 90s horror movies, but yeah, so... The Resurrected, and I finally got around to picking up Virus. I don't know why. I actually forgot that Scream Factory had put this out. I kind of missed this one. I mean, considering I have over 400 Scream Factory releases now, this one just kind of slipped through the cracks for me. And it's probably because I forgot how much I like this movie. I know some people don't really care for this one. I know Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't even care for this one herself, but let's face this, man. It's like alien horror set on a boat, and if you know me, I love shit that's set on boats. I think the effects are fantastic in this, man. Basically about this crew that comes across this abandoned ship, and they obviously go on to salvage it kind of thing, and then realize that they're not alone on there, and there's these aliens and shit, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I love Virus, man. It's fun. From 1990. It says 98. I believe it's 1999. It does say 99 on there, actually. But there's a lot of features on here, man. You got some audio commentary, new Eye of the Storm interviews, lots of new features. Actually, pretty crazy. So, but Virus, fun fucking movie with William Baldwin, man. William Baldwin's in this one, the awesome Baldwin. And of course the master Donald Sutherland, my Canadian brother. Had to do it, had to upgrade, because I have the Paramount Blu-ray. But this is just ridiculous, man. I was absolutely floored at the transfer that they did for this, with the uncut footage, inserting the uncut footage, because we know in the Paramount Blu-ray it's clear as day that it's like VHS quality stuff. So when the cuts are when the cut footage was inserted into the Blu-ray, you know exactly where it was. In this one, it's pretty seamless, except for maybe the dryer scene. You kind of notice it, but the rest of the movie, it's super, super flawless. Amazing job with this. I haven't actually seen any of the features yet. I watched the movie, of course, because it's actually one of my favorite slasher films of all time. It's one of my favorite standalone slashers. Always love this film, man. I mean, it's the only way to see it is in its uncut form, because the cut version of this movie is just ridiculously bland because everything's cut. They literally cut everything. So, My Bloody Valentine, it's a staple. You have to have this shit. And I really like this slipcover, man. Or the commissioned artwork for this. It's pretty cool, man. I know there's Scream Factory did another one too, which was the website bonus one or whatever, but I actually prefer this one. So, pretty cool. And on to the couple arrows that I did pick up this month. Actually, I got quite a few coming next month. Probably in the post right now. First up, we got Deadly Manor. Another Jose Ramon Lawrence film. Man, this guy's been getting so much love with his movies. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, we got the box set. We got, another one here. So many of his movies have been hitting Blu-ray in the last couple years from various companies, but it's insane that pretty much his whole filmography is like on Blu-ray now. This one's okay, man. It's very standard. This was his very last horror film that he did, and it kind of feels like he was running out of steam at this point. The transfer is really good on this one, man. It doesn't really kind of live up to even a couple of the predecessors, like Edge of the Axe and things like that had come out about this time. But his early stuff like Vampires and shit like that it's fantastic. Among films, but yeah, this one's got a pretty standard kind of storyline. People go to this house, they start getting picked off. It is what it is. It's pretty good though. I had fun with it. Next up here, we got the One Missed Call trilogy upgrade for me. I have all three of these films on the, it was the Shriek Show Tokyo Shock line that put out these. Of course, Takashi Miike did the first one, which is, these movies do decrease in for me anyways. I think Takashi Miike's is the best one. Part 2 is second best. Third one is like my least favorite. But they're still all really entertaining. I actually triple featured these one night, and it's funny because all these movies are like 2 hours long, so it's like 6 hours of like One Missed Call trilogy subtitles. But really, I mean, subtitles are not really hard to read, so read your films, people. But yeah, the transfers are great on these, man. Can't complain. Here's the artwork for all three of the films on one right there, and of course you got 2 discs. We got Takashi's on 1 disc, and then 2 and 3 are on the second one. So fine release from Arrow Films. Happy to upgrade these, man. I actually really like it. They're enjoyable. And last up for the month is Edge of the Axe, another Jose Ramon Lawrence film, which I actually really enjoy. Edge of the Axe is a lot more fun than Deadly Manor, but in its ridiculousness, and yeah, I always remember that artwork right there. So, again, man, Arrow dropping all these Lawrence films is just absolutely amazing. Yeah, it even mentions Symptoms on the back here. If you've never seen Symptoms from the early 70s, like his early 70s films to his later 80s films, it's like night and day quality. But Symptoms is like legitimately an amazing film. But yeah, this is fun, man. I mean, obviously, it's kind of like it's a late entry in the slasher film, kind of stealing from a lot of different type of slashers, as you can see here. Axe kind of looks like Jason on there a little bit, but this one's actually pretty fun. So, but anyways, that is gonna do it for the update. That is everything. It was like pretty normal, I guess. 30 something films. It's pretty normal for the month. But I do have a lot coming this month. I just made a big order. I hit up that Arrow sale too, which I think all I grabbed was actually Westerns on that one, because I pretty much have every Arrow release that I want. So I'm kind of digging into the Arrow Academy stuff now. So, yeah, I'll be back next month with a new update for y'all. And I believe that was everything. I don't think I left anything around. I don't know, because I had movies like all over the place here. So anyways, guys, drop your comments down below, and I will see you guys later. Deuces!